Hello, everybody, and we are back with some more 1978 Yankees baseball here on the channel. And let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the Kansas City Royals taking on the Yankees here in the third game of this series and in the final game here on May 3rd. Kansas City is going to have Amos Otis leading off, playing center field. Batting second, doing the DH is Hal McRae. Batting third, playing left field is Tom Puckett. Batting fourth, playing right field, Al Cowens. Batting fifth, doing the catching, Darrell Porter. Batting sixth, playing first base, Clint Hurdle. Batting seventh, playing third base, Jerry Terrell. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Freddie Paultek. Batting ninth and playing second base is Frank White. And on the mound for the Kansas City Royals is Dennis Leonard. Look here at the hometown New York Yankees starting lineup. We got leading off, playing center fields, Mickey Rivers. Batting second and playing seconds, Willie Randolph. Batting third and doing the catchings, Thurman Munson. Batting fourth and playing right fields, Reggie Jackson. Batting fifth, playing first base is Greg Nettles. Batting sixth, playing third base is Greg Nettles. Batting seventh and playing left field, Roy White. Batting eighth, doing the DH is Jim Spencer. Batting ninth, playing shortstop is Bucky Dent. And on the mound for the New York Yankees is Ed Figueroa. We'll get down here to the field and get this game started. And this is Amos Otis leading off, batting .279 with a homer and 4 RBIs, facing Ed Figueroa. This is his fifth game. He's 3-0 with a 2.06 ERA. Here's the pitch from Ed. And that's going to be against the righty, a 16 on a 9. That's going to be an infield hit. Amos Otis gets aboard here with nobody out with a leadoff base hit. So Amos down at first. And Hal McRae at the plate now. And Hal is batting .276. He's got 2 homers and 12 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Jackson in right field. That'll be out number 1. And Tom Puckett is up now, batting .250 with a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a 16 with a runner on at first. And that's going to be a single. Infield single, so 2 infield hits here today. It's first and second and 1 out for Al Cowens. See if Ed can get out of this mess with nobody scoring. Al's batting .275, 4 homers and 15 RBIs rather. And that's going to be a foul ball. And Thurman Munson's going to make the catch near the dugout for out number 2. Now there's 2 outs, runners on first and second for Darrell Porter. Porter is batting .208, a homer and 4 RBIs. And against a righty, make him a 14. Runners on there, and that's going to be a fly ball. Mickey Rivers makes a nice play. Ed gets out of it with nobody scoring. We get to the bottom of the first. KC, nothing. Yankees sending Rivers, Randolph, and Munson up. Mickey's batting .228. He's got 2 homers and 14 RBIs. That's going to be a fly ball out to Tom and left. That'll be out number 1 for the Yankees. Brings up Willie Randolph now. And Willie's batting .333. He's got a homer and 7 RBIs. And against a 20. That's an 11. That's going to be an infield hit. Nice job by Randolph to get aboard here with 1 out. So Willie down at first. 1 out. He's a D pitcher. Runner. And Willie's going to take off for second here. It'll be a 31. So a 61 or lower. Willie's in there with a stolen base, and he's in there, folks. So Willie's still second. Oh, let's do the drop. 5 and a 53. Forgot to wild throw rather. Wild throw. 53. So it was a 5, did I say? 5 and a 53. And nothing. So no wild throw. So Willie's down at second. And Thurman Munson now with a runner in scoring position. And 1 out. Here's the pitch to Thurman, batting .310. 2 homers and 12 RBIs. And that's going to be a good thing they stole. That's going to be hit down the second. And see here, on a 64, the runner's probably going to get down the third. 64 on a 9, that's filling column 3. And yeah, the runner will get down the third. Ground ball hit down the second. And now the go-ahead run's 90 feet away from Mr. Jackson. Reggie is batting .329, 10 homers and 23 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Allen, right field, his counterpart. That'll end the inning. The Yankees strand 1. We get to the top of the second. No score. Hurdle, Terrell, and Paulette do up here. And Clint's batting .262 with a homer and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, and that's Ed's first strikeout of the game. That'll be 1 out here. And we got Jerry Terrell due up. And Terrell is batting a .111 with no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Nettles at third. He fires over to Chambliss for out number 2. Here comes Freddie Patek. And Patek's batting .257. He's got no homers and 7 RBIs. And that's another ground ball to third and another out. To the bottom of the second we go. We got Chambliss due up here, followed by Nettles and Roy White. And Chris is batting .325 with 2 homers and 13 RBIs. And that's going to be a rare play, a 46 on a 37. 46 and a 37. That's going to be a foul ball, strike 1 on Nettles. On Chambliss. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Chambliss. And against a righty, 16. That's going to be a fly ball in the center field. Amos Otis is out there today, makes the catch for out number 1. Greg Nettles, the hero of the last game, comes up, batting .269, 4 homers and 13 RBI. And that's a lazy ground ball down the short. Up with it is Freddie. He fires over to Clint for out number 2. So it's up to Roy White to get something going here in the bottom of the second. Roy's batting .255, 2 homers, 6 RBI. And another ground ball. This one down the second. Frank White throws over to first. Yankees go down 1-2-3. To the top of the third we go. White, and then we go back to the top of the order, and Otis and McRae, rather. And here's the pitch to Frank. Frank's batting .328. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Chambliss. He'll take it himself. And it brings up the top of the order, and Amos Otis, nobody on and 1 out. And Amos started this game off with the single. Not this time. That's a fly ball out to Jackson. He's got room out there in right field. 2 up and 2 down. Now Hal McRae, he also flew out to right his first time up. And he's going to give Chris Chambliss a try at it, and Chris is up to the task. That's a 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the third we go. We got Spencer, Dent, and Rivers due up here. Jim's batting .286 with a homer and 5 RBI. And that's going to be a lazy fly ball out to Otis for out number 1. Can Bucky get something started here with 1 out? Dent's batting .286. He's got a homer and 11 RBIs. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Nice piece of hitting there by Bucky. He gets a board here. So the Yankees got the go-ahead run down at first, and Mickey Rivers to the plate. And Mick flew out to left field his first time up. And Bucky's down at first. And now Rivers gets a hold of this one, folks. And with Dent's speed, can he come around to score on at least a double here? And that is going to be a double in the right field. And I didn't bring the calculator up, so we'll use the one on the computer. Double in the right field. And that'll be a 42. I don't want this. Not now. And I don't want that. I clicked the wrong thing. Sorry about that. There we go. A calculator, not the calendar. And what I say, it was a 42 out there. Yep, a 42 minus a 38. He's probably going to stay at third here. Yes, he is. So he's going to stay at third. So that's a double in the right field, Rivers. Now we got first and second and third, and only 1 out. And we got Willie Randolph up now with runners in scoring position. KC will play back, trying to get an out here. Don't want to give up a big inning. Willie singled and stole a base his first time up. And here is the pitch to Willie. And that's going to be a base on balls. That'll fill the bases up for the captain, Thurman Munson. Nowhere to put the captain. Bases are clogged with Yankees everywhere you look. Dent at third, Rivers at second, Randolph at first, and Mr. Thurman Munson at the plate. He's grounded out to second his first time up. And not what you want to see here. That's going to be hit down the short of 64. That'll probably be fielding column 3, but I'm sure that's still going to be good enough. And safe at first, runner out at second. They don't get the double play. So that's a ground ball. Hit down to Freddie. And that's an RBI. And now it's first and third. And 2 outs. So I thought that was going to be an any double play. But Freddie couldn't field that cleanly. Gets the out. But a run does score. And Jackson's up to the plate. He flew out to right his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Jackson strikes out. But the Yankees score 1 on the RBI by Munson. We go to the top of the fourth. It's 1-0 New York. And we got Tom Poquette, Al Cowens, and Daryl Porter due up here. Tom singled his first time up, and that's going to be a fly ball to Reggie. We're out number 1. Al Cowens is up now, and Al is 0 for 1. He popped up the thermal first time up. Not this time, folks. Al squares this one up, and that's going to be a double into the gap in right field. So Al's down in scoring position with 1 out for Daryl Porter. 9 run in scoring position. Can Ed get out of this? Porter flew out to center field his first time up. 1 out and 1 on. And that's going to be against a righty, a 14. And that's going to be hit down to short. And we'll have to re-roll. No, we won't. That'll be a ground ball down to Dent. He's going to look the runner back to second. Fired down to first. That's a big out. Keeps the runner down at second. Now with 2 outs for Clint Hurdle. And Clint is 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. Roy White's out there and makes the catch today. And that'll do it. And KC strands 1. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 1-0 Yankees. You got Chambliss, Nettles, and White due up here. And that's going to be a base on balls. Chris will walk on down the first. And up comes Greg Nettles now with nobody out and a runner in the pads. And Nettles grounded out the short his first time up. And that's going to be against the righty. That's going to make him a 9. A 9 and a 9. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And on a 25, he's going to get the runner out at second. But that's all they'll get. So now you got Nettles down at first with 1 out for Roy White. See if Roy can capitalize here with 1 out. He grounded out second his first time up. And that's going to be a comebacker to the mound. And Leonard's up with it. He's going to fire down the second and get the lead runner. So now there's 2 outs. And Jim Spencer's up. Can Mr. Spencer deliver here with 2 outs? And he is 0 for 1. He flew out the center the first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Freddie. He throws over to second the short way. And that'll be it. The Yankees strand 1. And we go to the 5th inning. We got the bottom part of the order due up here. Terrell, Patek, and White. Jerry's 0 for 1. Grounded out the 3rd. And that's going to be a ground ball. This one's back to the mound, though. Ed's got it. He throws over to Chris for out number 1. And Freddie's up now. And Freddie's 0 for 1. He grounded out the 3rd also. And that's going to be a rare play, a 12 on a 39. 12 on a 39. And that's going to be strike 1 on Freddie. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be hit. That's going to be hit back to the mound. And Ed's not going to come up with it. That's going to be an E1, so doesn't help himself out there. So now 1 out and a runner down at first. Frank White's up. And Frank is 0 for 1. He grounded out the first his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 54 on a 9. Should be fielding column 2. And it is. And they'll get the runner at first. Freddie will get in the scoring position now. Now with 2 outs. And we're back to the top of the order. And Amos Otis And Amos is 1 for 2. He singled and flew out the right. And that's going to be a pop up in the foul territory down the third base line. Dent goes over. It's going to make the catch. And that'll do it. And KC strands 1. We go to the bottom of the 5th, the bottom of the order to up Dent. Then back to the top. That'll turn over to Rivers and Randolph. Bucky singled and came around to score the only run of the game so far. And that's going to be a base on ball. So Bucky's back down at first with nobody out. And Mickey Rivers is up. See if Mick can do something here with Bucky at first. He doubled his last time up. Can he do something like that again? And he does square this one up. Mickey's having a hell of a game here, folks. And that's going to be another double. And again, Dent's going to stop at third with nobody out. Not going to get thrown out at the plate. So now that'll force the Orioles to bring the infield in with nobody out. Runners at second and third. Willie Randolph up. Can he get a ground ball through the infield here or a high fly out to deep enough in the outfield to score 1? Willie's 1 for 1. He singled and stole a base and walked. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll make him a 20 and a 9. And that's going to be a fly ball out the center field. Let's see here. 61. That's going to be fielding column 3. Need to roll another dice. A 4. That'll be a 56. 56. Clear that. 56. Minus the 35. Plus the 8. 29. 29. A 55 or lower. Then I'll make it home here, folks. 55 or lower. And he's in there with a sacrifice fly. Let's see here. Sacrifice fly. 50. Or see a 50. And Rivers is going to get down to third. So nice job by Willie Randolph here, folks. He gets the runner, gets a sacrifice fly, and the runner on second is going to get down to third. So now with 1 out, they'll still have to keep the infield in. Thurman Munson up, and they just doubled the lead to 2-0. And Munson's 0 for 2. He did have a RBI ground ball his last time up. He'll take another one of them. But the infield's in. Hey, Tim D. So the infield's playing in. They're down 2-0. Can Thurman get a ground ball through the infield or again another deep enough fly ball to get the runner in? Here's the pitch to Thurman. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second with the infield in. And a 42 on a 9. 42, that should be fielding column number 1. And it is. And that's going to be a single through second, folks. And that's going to score the run. Nice job by Thurman Munson. Ball makes it into the outfield with the infield in. And it's 3-0 New York. And now Reggie's up with Munson down at first. And the Yankees have tripled the lead here in this inning. And Reggie's 0 for 2. He's flew out the right and struck out. And that's going to be a 34. That's going to be a pop-up out in shallow left field. Freddie's got it, makes the catch, and that's out number 2. So it's up to Chris Chambliss to try to add some more runs here. The Yankees up by 3. Chris flew out to center and walked. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Chris. Can he deliver here on the 2-0 pitch? And he walks the hard way in Apba, folks. When 2 rolls, Chambliss with his second walk, he's got good eyes today. Brings up Nettles now. First and second and 2 outs. Then it's Leonard struggling here in the 5th. And Nettles is 0 for 2, grounded out and reached on the fielder's choice. And that'll end the inning as that ball's hit down the 3rd. He'll go to short way over to 2nd. And that'll end the inning, but the Yankees scored 2 and make it 3-0. We go to the top of the 6th. We got McCray due up, followed by Potek and Al Cowens. Al is 0 for 2, flew out the right and grounded out the 1st. And that's going to be a ground ball back down the 1st again. And Chris has got it again for out number 1. And here comes Tom. And Tom's 1 for 2, singled and flew out the Reggie. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Bucky at short. Over to Chambliss for out number 2. Al Cowens is up now with 2 outs and nobody on. He's doubled and popped up to the catcher. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Willie at second. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We got the bottom part of the order due up with White, Spencer, and Dent. Roy's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and reached on a fielder's choice. And that's going to be a ground ball. That's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Willie out. Roy out, rather. Brings up Spencer for hire, Jim Spencer. And Jim is 0 for 2. He's flown out and reached on a fielder's choice. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. And all of a sudden, after the rough 5th inning, Leonard's dealing here in the 6th. 2 strikeouts. Can he strike out the side here, folks? Up to the plate steps Bucky Dent. And he does. That is good morning, good afternoon, and good night. He strikes the side out. To the 7th inning we go. Still 3-0 New York. And we got Darrell Porter, Clint Hurdle, and Jerry Terrell due up. And Porter is 0 for 2. He is flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be a rare play of 32 and a 36. And that's going to be a ball 1. So here's the 1-0 pitch to Darrell. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Bucky. He's got it with no problem for out number 1. Clint Hurdle up now. KC's running out of outs and they need some base runners. He struck out and flew out to left. And you're going to get a base runner. Clint Hurdle squares this one up. And that ball is in the gap in right field. That'll be a double. So KC's got a runner in scoring position for Jerry Terrell. And Jerry is 0 for 2. He's grounded out the 3rd and the 1st, into the pitcher, rather. And that's going to be another ground ball down the 3rd. Question is Nettles going to keep him at 2nd here? 45 and a 5 should be fielding column number 1. And it is. And he does look the runner back to 2nd and fires over to 1st. So now there's 2 outs. Runner still at 2nd. And Freddie Potek is due up now. And Freddie is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and reached on an error. And that ball is hit down the 2nd. And that's going to be a single in the. That's going to be an infield single. And Willie knocks it down. That'll keep the runner from scoring. So now we got 1st and 3rd. Nice play by Willie. So we got 1st and 3rd now. 2 outs for Frank White. Frank's 0 for 2, folks. He's grounded out twice, once the first, once the short. And that'll end the inning. That's a ground ball down the third. He'll fire across the diamond to get the final out. And Kansas City strands 2. We go to the 7th inning stretch. And the score is 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Top of the order due up here for the Yanks, Rivers, Randolph, and Munson. Mickey Rivers is having a damn good game. He has doubled twice and came around to score one of the 3 runs. Can Mick get aboard again here, folks? Not this time. That's a ground ball down to Clint at first. That'll be out number 1. And that brings up Willie Randolph. Randolph is 1 for 1. He has walked, drove in a run, had a sacrifice fly, and stole a base. He's been busy today at the plate. And that'll be the first time they get him out. He hits it down to his counterpart, Frank White. That's 2 outs, so it's up to Mr. Munson. Get something going here. He's 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs today. And that'll be a swing and a miss. Leonard strikes him out. To the top of the 8th we go. We got the top of the order due up here for KC. Otis, Cray, and Potot. So Famous Amos is 1 for 3. He singled, flew out the right, and popped up the short. And that's going to be a pop up again. This one's down to second. Willie's got it for out number 1. Al McRae grabs the bat, comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 3. He's grounded out the first 2 times and flew out the right. And that's going to be a base on balls. So KC gets a runner down at first. And Tom's up now, trying not to get the tying run to the plate. Tom's 1 for 3. He's flown out the right and grounded out the short and has singled in this game. And that's going to be a high pop up down to third. Nettles calls for it, waits for it to come down. And that'll be out number 2. Al Collins up now with 2 outs. KC still trailing by 3. He's 1 for 3. He's doubled, popped up to Munson, and grounded out to Willie. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be making an 18 on a 9. 18 on a 9. And that's going to be a infield hit. So the inning's still alive. Collins gets a hit, rather. We got first and second now, and the tying run does come to the plate in the form of Daryl Porter. Porter is 0 for 3. He's flew out the center and grounded out the short twice. And that's what I was afraid of. That ball is high. That ball is far. And that ball is gone, folks. That's a home run. Daryl Porter ties this ball game up just like that. It's 3 apiece. These games have been close. Games have been close with these Royals. And that brings up Clint Hurdle. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Oh no is right, Tim. And he struck out and flew out the left. And against an 8-15, that'll be a deep fly ball in the right field. Jackson's got just enough room near the wall, makes the catch, but the damage was done. Daryl Porter goes deep and ties this ball game up. We go to the bottom of the 8th. And Leonard, will he stay out? That is the question. Let's see who they got out here in the bullpen. They got a bunch of lefties coming up. And that's going to be it for Leonard. So Leonard will get a no decision out of this game. Let's see who the KC, they're going to bring in a lefty here. See who they're going to bring out of the bullpen. Just make sure everybody's rested. I was going to bring in
Mingwari.
if the game ever catches up with me. Steve Minrory is who I was thinking about bringing in here if he's rested. Last time I checked, he was tired. Pitched 3 games in a row. And he's still a little tired, but we're going to bring him in. See how this works out for KC. He's going to face these lefties. He'll have a short leash.
Mingwari.
This is Minrory's 9th appearance. He's 1-1 with a 5.19 ERA. He'll be facing Jackson, Chambliss, and Nettles here in the bottom of the 8th. Game is tied up at 3 apiece. Reggie's 0 for 3. He has flown out, struck out, and popped up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Frank White's got that one. And he fires over to first for out number 1. That brings up Chris Chambliss now. And Chambliss is 0 for 1. He's walked twice, though. He flew out the center. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Steve's got it, fires over to first for out number 2. So it's up to Greg Nettles to do something here in the 8th to keep this inning alive. Nettles is 0 for 3, grounded out, reached on 2 fielders' choices. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And that'll end the inning. We go to the top of the 9th. And they're going to let old Ed try to finish this 9th inning. He's got the bottom part of the order due up here. Try to give him a chance to win this game. He's thrown 1 bad pitch in this game. He's got Terrell, Patuck, and White due up. Jerry's 0 for 3, grounded out 3 times, twice to third, once to the mound. And that's going to be against a righty. 19. That's going to be a nice play out in right field by Jackson. Give him his due. He's made some blunders out there, but that was a nice catch by Reggie. And old Freddie comes up to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He's reached on an error and grounded out and singled. And that's going to be a base on balls. You don't want to see that. Go ahead run down at first. And I don't think he's going to be staying at first very long. It'll be a 5-25. So that'll be a 51 or lower. He's in there safely. And he's in there with a stolen base. He gets in the scoring position for KC. So now you got Frank White up with Freddie down at second and 1 out. Go ahead, run in scoring position. Frank is 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times, first, short, and third. And that is going to be hit down. And that's going to be a hit by pitch. Not what you wanted if you're a Yankees fan here, folks. That's going to force the Yankees to bring the infield in. There's a lot of speed on the bases. I don't see a double play here. Well, they don't need to bring the infield in. There's not a runner at third. I was thinking like he was forced to third. I don't know what I'm thinking. So we got first and second. They'll play for the double play here. And Amos Otis is up. He's 1 for 4. Single, flew out the right and popped up the short and second. And that's going to be a foul ball back behind the plate. Munson throws the mask off, makes the catch, and what a big out that was. 2 outs now. Runner still in scoring position. Yeah, that did hurt. Hopefully he can pitch around it. Hal McRae's up. He's 0 for 3. He's flown out, grounded out the first twice and wall. And that's going to be a comebacker to the mound. And Ed's going to fire over to first. That ends the threat. We go to the bottom of the ninth. This game is tied up at 3 apiece. Steve's going to stay out there on the mound. Roy's going to turn around and bat from the right side. He's 0 for 3. Let's see if he can do better from the right side. And no, that's going to be a pop up down the short. That'll be out number 1. And Jim Spencer is going to be called back for a pitch hitter. And let's see who's going to come off the bench here to pitch hit. And Cliff Johnson's going to come out here and pitch hit. They're going to leave Steve on the mound, I believe. Try to get through this inning. If anybody gets on, they'll probably take him out. Cliff Johnson coming to the plate. And Cliff is only batting $149. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs. Can he do some damage here against Steve? And that's a base on balls. The Yankees will take it. That gets the winning run down at first. And here is the question, and I think the answer is yes. We're going to have to pitch run. We're going to put Mr. Blair and a pitch run for him. And he'll stay in and DH. So Blair will come in and pitch run for Johnson. Cliff gets a walk here. Here's Paul. So you got a runner down at first and then up. Hey, Aaron. And now you got a righty due up here. And I don't know. I think that's going to be it for Steve. A D20. Make him an 18. He's not going nowhere. So that's going to be it for Steve. Got the right-hander up. Marty's going to come in here. Try to keep this a tie ball game. Marty Patton's coming in. Face Bucky Dent here with a runner on at first. And 1 out here in the ninth. Can Bucky at least get him in the scoring position here. Bucky is 1 for 2. He has singled, walked, and struck out. And this is Marty's 7th appearance. And he's got 1 save on the year with a 1.04 ERA. And that's going to be a 2 balls and no strikes to Bucky. Can he take advantage of this 2-0 count, folks? And no, that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. That'll be out number 1. And the runner's going to stay put at first. So it's going to be up to Mickey Rivers. And if you watch game number 1 of this series, Mickey Rivers was the hero in that game. Can he do it again, folks? He's having a hell of a game. He's 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. A double will most likely score, Blair. Here's the pitch to Mick. And that's not a double. That's going to be against a righty. Make him a 17. And that's going to be a single in the right field. And let's see here. Will Blair make it the 3rd? Why did I close that out for? So a single in the right field. Forgot to bring the calculator up. And that'll be a 50. Okay, so a 50 Al's got a hell of an arm out there, but Blair's got great speed. So a 30 to get the third. And that way a wild pitch will score him and all. So a 56 or lower, Blair's going to get down the third. And he does. So that's a base hit in the right field. Wow, first and third now. And 2 outs for Willie Randolph. Can Willie be the hero here, folks? Marty Patton on the mound. And let's see. And Rivers is going to take off for second. That way they won't have a force play, even though his run means nothing. Try to break up that force play. And it'll be a 32. So that'll be a 62 or lower. He's safe, folks. And he's in there with a stolen base. So Mick gets in the scoring position. Like I say, his run means nothing. But that'll force a play either at the plate or to go to first. No force play. So second and third now with 2 outs for Willie Randolph. See if Willie can deliver here, folks. He's 1 for 2. He's walked, got an RBI, and stole a base. And no, that's going to be a base on balls. No, where to put the next guy up, and that is Thurman Munson, the captain. Bases juiced. Here we go. They made him the captain for a reason. He has 2 RBIs in this game. He had a 2 RBI single. RBI single in the 5th. He had a ground out RBI. He's grounded out and struck out. 2 outs, nowhere to put Thurman. Here's the pitch to him. That ball is well hit. Thurman Munson's going to come through, folks, with probably a single unless it's a home run. And that's going to be a single in the right field. He'll stop at first. That ball rolls to the wall, but no reason to go any further. Thurman Munson with an RBI single in the 9th to win the ball game. What a great series this was, folks. All 3 games came down to a walk-off by the Yankees. What a tight series. You had Rivers with a 2-run homer, Nettles with a 3-run homer, and now Munson with a walk-off single. Excuse me. Awesome games. Awesome games. Yeah, it was a nice ending, wasn't it? Darn. Take a look here at the box score. I'm sure that's about the walk-off again. Yep, 3 walk-off wins in a row against Kansas City. They might see them in the playoffs, folks. It'll be a hell of a series if they do. Kansas City, 3 runs on 7 hits and no errors. Yankees, 4 runs, 7 hits and 1 errors, and the walks killed the KC in that inning. Al Collins was the only batter that went 2 for 4. KC was 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position, left 8 men on base. Mickey Rivers with a hell of a game, 3 for 5, and Thurman Munson 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Those 2 tried to carry the Yankees on their back, that's for sure. And the Yankees were 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They left 6 men on base. Dennis Leonard pitched a nice game, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, walked 4, struck out 5, gets a no decision. Steve Mongrel goes an inning and a third, picks up his 2nd loss. He's 1 and 2. No hits, 1 run, walked 1. And Marty comes in, pitches a third of an inning, gives up 2 hits and a walk. And that was your ball game. Ed goes the distance and picks up his 4th win. 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, walked 2, struck out 1, and gave up the 3-run homer. Yeah. All righty. Let's do some fast play here in the American League. We got the Rangers taking on the Orioles in Baltimore. See what happens down the road for me. Right down I-70. Yeah, it was a great series, Tim. And Baltimore wins. The Rangers 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors, and the Orioles 4 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. Jim Palmer with a nice job. Then you got the Twins traveling to Boston to take on the Red Sox. See what happens up here in Beantown. And the Red Sox shut out the Twins. Louis Tion, nice 2-hitter, folks. See what the Stars for. Tion throws a shutout, his second shutout of the year. The Twins, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors. The Red Sox, 8 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Then you got the Tigers out in California taking on the Angels. And a 2-0 shutout. A lot of runs being scored. 2 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for the Tigers. The Angels, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Then you got the White Sox taking on the Brewers in Milwaukee. And the Brewers win. White Sox, 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error. The Brewers, 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Gorman Thomas picks up a home run, goes 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Then you got the Blue Jays out in California taking on the A's in Oakland. And the A's shut out the Blue Jays. No runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Excuse me, the A's 4 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. And the last game in the American League is the Indians out in Seattle to take on the Mariners. See what the Tribe can do out there in Washington. And they win. 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. The Mariners 1 run, 7 hits, and no errors. Take a look here at the standings and the leaderboard. And the Yankees still with a game-and-a-half lead over the Red Sox. Tigers trailing by 2. The Brewers 5 games back. The Blue Jays 5.5. Orioles 7. And the Indians 9.5. And out west, the Twins are 5.5 games up on the White Sox. Oakland A's are 6 games back. KC is 6.5. Rangers 7.5. California Angels 8 games back, and the Seattle Mariners are 9.5. And Dwayne Kuiper's back in the AL lead with a 4.05 average. Reggie and Gorman Thomas are tied with 10 home runs, and Reggie with 23 RBIs. And Louis Tion has lowered his ERA to 0.33. Got 2 of them tied with 5 wins, and the Goose still with 5 saves. Reggie still your MVP leader. And Paul Splitall is still leading in the Cy Young vote. Oh, Murph's on there. What's the Murph? Murph's up to 5 home runs on the year. It's nice to see the Murph there. And the next game on the channel is going to be a bats game. Let's check it out. I think it's going to be a It's going to be an American League game. See what it'll be. Yeah, the Red Sox are playing good ball now. They got off to a rough start like the Yankees was supposed to. And the next game on the channel is going to be the Tigers traveling to Baltimore in the Bats League. See how many game series that is. There's one, two, there's three. So that'll be a 3-game series there. That'll be the next game on the channel. I want to thank Tim D, Aaron Reed, and I believe that was everybody, folks. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders on your way out of Yankee Stadium. Hit that like button. And you all have a great evening and take care until next time.